What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to try out a Shadow Qwilfish team here in the Jungle Cup. This Pokemon is one of the spammiest Pokemon in the game, taking only 4 Poison Stings to reaching an Aqua Tail. And I'm running a bit of an unconventional charge attack as well. Instead of running Ice Beam or Sludge Wave, we're going to try out Scald, which hits a lot harder, but it gives a little bit less coverage. I'm going to pair it up with Gastrodon as well as Shadow Jumpluff here, so let's get into the battles and see what this Pokemon can do. Alright, Shadow Jumpluff into a Wigglytuff. Okay. This is going to be annoying, mainly because I know for a fact there's a Mud Slapper in the backline with this. But we can dance around that if we need to. We've done it before. We'll go for the Energy Ball here. It does do more raw damage, but they're 1 away from an Icy Wind. They could shield this and try to go for that. Yeah. Interesting. Nice patience by them, actually. Okay, not having Ice Beam here is a little bit annoying. But my pacing is so quick that it doesn't necessarily matter. You're at 5. Shield that, okay. 6. It's honestly probably a good thing to bait this out here. I'm kind of soft to Drift Limb, so my Qwilfish being able to take it out for the most part is going to be really nice. Whoa, Trainer! They must not realize how spammy Qwilfish is! I mean, I'm fine with that. Let's go, Qwilfish! What's that about? They have a lot of energy here on the Wigglytuff. We have to keep that in mind. But I mean, the energy doesn't do a lot. It does have utility with Icy Wind, which could be a little bit annoying. And there's always a chance, I don't know, it's like a Talonflame in the backline or something my Jumpluff really doesn't want to see. I'm going to shield this up. Let's see what they do. They do Icy Wind. Honestly, I'm going to swap now. Okay, not a bad swap by me. I need an Aerial Ace plus an Energy Ball to knock out, so I might as well get my turn back from being behind to turn on that swap-in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're back to back here, actually. I can't shield this. Because if I shield, they have a second move. So it's like, I'd waste the shield anyway. Nice, I just survived that. Honestly, Jumpluff is so much bulkier than a lot of Pokemon in this meta. That's where it really comes in clutch. And I cleared my debuffs on my Gastro. Do I Fairy Wind down? I get a Simul KO. Don't know if that defense drop mattered there or not. But now I have the Water Pulse ready to go against this Wigglytuff. Okay, let's go. Dude, Qwilfish put in so much work here. And the Water Pulse just knocks out the Wigglytuff. Okay, great game. That was a great game. Okay, let's get into the next game. Shadow Pluff into Swampert. Okay, this thing does have Sludge. Have to keep that in mind. Could be a little bit scary if they end up getting a big energy lead. But I don't think Sludge quite two-shots us from the non-Shadow here. We're at 7 right now. So 2 past the Sludge. It's non-stab Sludge. Non-Shadow, non-stab. Yeah, that does a lot, though. You're at 3. Okay, we get the shield. 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if this is necessarily the best play of my life, but it's a funny play. Where now a Sludge is going to be caught on my Gastrodon, and I probably get met by a Flyer, but, you know, we're up a shield. Yeah, it's Altaria in the backline. Not the best Pokemon for me to see necessarily. But the best thing about this is Body Slam will add up a little bit here. And I did need to bait this out for my Qwilfish. So we'll see what we can do. Sky Attack knocks us out from this range, but they're at 100 energy right now, or they will be in just a second. So it's not like they can really get much more than a second Sky Attack out of this matchup. Alright, they're at 100. Is this why they had their Swampert in the lead and they were staying? Okay, I'm not going to give them a farm down here. Might be a strange play, but I'm coming in Qwilfish. We shield the Sky Attack. We're at 2 on that Swampert. 3, 4, 5, 1. Have to shield a Hydro Cannon here, unfortunately. But that's fine. Two, three, 4, 5. Okay. Do they want to save their Swampert here? I don't think they will. Yeah, so Skull just knocks him out. Altaria probably comes back in to drain the energy. Saying they did just learn about my moveset. We'll Scald here, just to guarantee a knockout. I say guarantee, honestly, there's a chance it's not enough. It does knock out. Very dilly in the back, okay. 6. This is interesting, because I have an Aerial Ace loaded right now. 7. I need to be able to chip this thing down low enough to where I can knock him out here with that Aqua Tail I have loaded. And the best thing is I do have some Mud Slap damage that I can still get off against this. If I reach a Body Slam as well, that's probably just game over for them. Alright. Body Slam here has been reached. With that said, Aqua Tail still not the strongest move in the game. Cradilly is pretty bulky. Don't think they hang on, though. The Shadow Qwilfish throwing in an Aqua Tail. Surely this is enough. Come on, Qwilfish. I believe. For good reason. Yeah, look at that. Okay. That was a tricky one. Altaria into our Gastro there in that mid-game match. It was a little bit scary. We're so soft to Altaria, especially in the backline. Alright. Next opponent. We got a Legend Pusher here. Fortress lead. Not my favorite. We'll see what moveset they're on. It's a Bug Bite. Okay. Rock Tomb's gonna hurt quite a bit, and I don't like that, but that's life. I'm gonna go for the Aerial Ace bait and see what they want to do. They shield because they're a Fortress user. They're gonna try to go for the other attack here in just a second. Alright, they instantly Rock Tomb. Now I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna save the energy, come in Qwilfish, which does technically resist the Bug Bite damage. I don't really want to shield the Sand Tomb, but I think I literally have to. I don't really have a choice in the matter here. Ow, wow, these Bug Bites really start to shred after that debuff, huh? 2 Aqua Tails are likely enough to knock out, though, right? Surely? I hope? Yeah. Honestly, maybe 1 Scald could have been enough. We have a lot of energy here, so despite the fact that they have put in a lot of work with this Pokemon, we're still in a playable position. But I'm kind of worried with the fact that my Gastrodon might not have a lot of play. Given that we did just see... Yeah. I was gonna say, given that we did just see a Fortress, and Fortress is pretty weak to Mud Slap in general. Okay, we get his shield there, no debuff, that's sad. I need another Aerial Ace here, I think. If they farm us down before I reach the Ace, we're in a really bad position. If I can get that second Ace off, though, maybe there's still some hope. I think we do. So now they're in Body Slam range, which is kind of cool, I guess. What would be in the backline that they're kind of scared of our Jumpluff and our Qwilfish? Diggersby? I guess I could see that, but that wouldn't be the best thing to see. Just because there's so much energy on this Altaria right now. I'll no-shield the first here just to force a second move out of them before they swap. Doesn't do that much. There's almost a case to be made for me to just, like, no-shield that and save the shield for my Qwilfish, but I'm not going to. Aw, man. That's not, like, even remotely what I thought it was going to be. I was thinking maybe Shadow Caesar in the backline. Actually, that'd be stupid. They had a Fortress lead. But I guess I've seen stupider things. It's just like that kind of would have fit with the couple of Pokemon that it seemed like they were kind of scared about, but it's not they were scared. They were just like so neutral into both that they didn't necessarily need to swap in at any time. Yeah, we get Sucker Punch down right before that Aqua Tail. That's unfortunate. That's a pretty tricky team comp. Fortress Lead is one of the harder things for the team to face off against, but I mean, we did well into it. I think we played it the way we need to. It was just like the back line wasn't quite there for us. All right. We can win this one. We're not going to see another Fortress today. That wouldn't happen. See another Wigglytuff, actually. Now, Wigglytuff, we saw, is a little bit of a strange Pokemon to face off into, mainly because it has Icy Wind, and nowadays it paces so much quicker than it used to. They're at 5 right now, so they're already at the Swift. They're 1 away from an Icy Wind. They shield that because they don't want to take that move before the debuff. Man. Am I wrong to assume that Wigglytuff users would want to, like, I don't know, throw in debuff early? Maybe I am. Then again, this is a fantastic Pokemon to see here. This is by no means a counter swap into Qwilfish. As you can see, those Aqua Tails kind of do a criminal amount of damage. I'm hoping this knocks out, though. It does. Nice. That is a dead Diggersby. It did nothing this game. They come back in their Charmer. Alright, I have a pretty good guess as to what's in the backline, then. My guess is going to be a Talonflame. We'll see if I'm right. Maybe I should have gone for the Scald here, but they had so much energy, they could have gone for another Swift in just a second. And honestly, if it is a Talonflame, I outpace so incredibly hard here with our Aqua Tails that it doesn't really matter for them either way. It could also just be like a second ground, I guess. But actually is a second ground instead. That is also incredibly fine. As we can just come in with our Gastrodon after landing this Aqua Tail and go for that Water Pulse. Alright, so not a lot of play this game for my Jumpluff, but man, we're really seeing the power of Qwilfish here the last couple of games. It's able to just put in so much work. Those bulky ground-type Pokemon that, in the past, could disrespect moves like Aqua Tail. Not quite so much against Qwilfish. Okay, next opponent. Jumpluff into Cradily. Alright. Bit of a scary Pokemon to see. This is one of those matchups you just kind of have to hope that Qwilfish on this safe swap is going to put in work. Because I can outpace so incredibly fast this Aqua Tail, where I get basically half of their HP for free. And that puts them into a range where now my Gastrodon or my Jumpluff, if it needs to, could deal with them. You also have to keep in mind the switch clocks have been pretty desynced by this play by our opponent. Oh, wow. So they have the Earthquake now. I would be over the moon if I could swap into my Gastrodon right now. I can't. But I mean, here's the thing. They seem incredibly worried about my Qwilfish. So we'll just swap out. We can Mud Step all the way down here. Double Poison type fast moves, that's kind of unique. I haven't really seen that too often in this meta. So they're at 7. They're going to be maybe 6 away from a Sludge Bomb if they have that, or like maybe 6 away from a Stone Edge too. But I don't think they're going to reach that. I think 4 Mud Steps knockout. Okay, come back in the Cradily. And that is totally fine. This Pokemon would be very tricky for my Jumpluff to face off into. And honestly, Gastrodon, up this much energy, can probably just slap him down. Yeah. Nice. Alright, this game's over. This game is over. It is Talon in the backline. I was kind of wondering if it was the way they seemed a little bit scared about my Qwilfish. Alright. I'm going to throw 2 attacks here just so I can get both shields down. I can't quite get a farm down against them, but I can make it so their life is very miserable as a Talonflame user. I win CMP, so that's really bad for them. If they shield that, I just Fairy Wind down with my funny guy. I mean, I guess, no, I don't even need Jumpluff, actually. I was going to Fairy Wind down, but then I realized might as well just slap down everything instead. That's the quicker way. It gives Jumpluff less to do, but like, okay, Qwilfish, dude, what the heck? Why is Qwilfish so good? It's a 4-in-1 set, too. Yeah, I think Qwilfish is actually the MVP here of this meta. We have been getting a little bit lucky avoiding Gastrodon counter swaps, but Gastro itself can be a bit of a tricky Pokemon to use. I should know, I'm using one. Next opponent. We're going to see Jumpluff into Altaria. Alright. Not the best lead I could see, but honestly, my backline is much weaker into this than my Jumpluff is, so I'm happy to see it here. I'm happy to just kind of neutralize this with Fairy Wind damage, as well as the Aerial Ace damage. We know that Aerial Ace got a damage increase this season, so surely that means it's going to do a lot of damage, right? Unfortunately, we're all pretty delusional to think that, because Aerial Ace is still a very bad attack. It's like, what, 45-60, I think? Really inefficient move. 45 energy, 60 damage. But Sky Attack itself, not exactly the best attack in the game. Back in the day, this would have been enough energy to have an Acrobatics. Do they know that Aerial Ace is that much worse of a move now? They do. Okay, that's fine. My biggest concern right now would be Ground-type Pokemon, mainly Mudslappers. But I'm hoping Altaria here could be their best counter to a Mudslapper itself. So maybe my own Gastro could have some play, and I can farm this down with my Qwilfish, get a lot of energy in the back line. So if it is a Mudslapper, I can get a decent chunk of damage into him. Okay. I don't love that it's on Volt Switch here, but this Water-type attack will do a lot of damage. Aqua Tail basically 2 shots, but Scald here is going to put them down to like Mudslap range even. Okay, nice. Double Bug Steel in the back. That's actually kind of cool, I guess. Wasn't really expecting that. I could have baited a Water Pulse, but Shadow Caesar needs to shield everything this game. Yeah. Nine. Alright. So they're one away from another Night Slash here. They're never going to Trailblaze, but also I'm never going to risk it. Just Body Slam for good measure. I'm only a single Poison Sting away from an Aqua Tail on my Qwilfish, so even if somehow my Gastro goes down, my Qwilfish can just close out this game. Yeah, we'll shield this up. And at this point, Fortress probably comes back in. They try to reach an Earthquake here. But I also just reached this attack, which is kind of cool. Body Slam should get the knockout. Actually, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, just barely it doesn't, but I'm very fine if Gastro goes down. I can Poison Sting this down now with my Qwilfish, and I can go for an attack into that Caesar. So technically, this is actually a full sweep by Qwilfish. Because I knocked out the Altaria, knocked out the Fortress, now the Caesar is about to go down. So technically, by technicality, Qwilfish got the last hit. Didn't honestly do all the damage this game. That was mainly Gastrodon in the back, but you know, it's the kill stealer, I guess. Nice. Okay. Alright, next opponent. Can we keep on showing off Qwilfish here? That's a pretty good matchup to see. Worst thing about this, they take 2 energy balls to get knocked out. And honestly, the discharges, well, they're not the best move in the game. They add up. So I do want to, if I can, you know, throw the second energy ball before they're at their next move. Big discharge. And now my energy ball here should land against them unless they're crazy and they shield. But honestly, I'm pretty happy if they shield this as well. They let it go. Okay. Don't have an instant counter swap into Gyarados, but I do have enough energy that I can outpace her to an Aerial Ace. And then I can bring in my Shadow Qwilfish, which can actually outpace this. They're never going to go for a crunch here. But I'm never going to care. Oh, wow. Wait, they actually crunch. I'm just going to 2-shield and farm down anyway. They actually got the defense drop there, which, I mean, I don't think that really matters too much. But now if that Qwilfish does come back in, I can go for an Aqua Tail against him. Maybe even 2. Oh, okay, let's go. That is a pretty good Pokemon to see. Not inherently for my Qwilfish. Like, it's not the worst Pokemon to see. Game? Okay. I think they, that was like just a visual glitch there. No way an Aquatail just did 75%. I think that's just what happens when you swap right when a move's thrown. I'm gonna swap here to my Jump Bluff just to make it a little bit harder for them to really know what to do in this game. It also clears my debuff that I had left over on my Qwilfish, so a little bit harder to farm us down. Shield that. Okay, they don't commit to a farm down. Does this Sand Tomb knock us out? I don't think it does. Okay, they Rock Tomb, so that's a lot of energy down the drain. Now Gastro should be good enough here, where I can just go for the Body Slam and guarantee a knockout or a shield. Likely a shield, I guess. And even if they do have Earthquake here, this game's going to be really hard for them to win. Alright, Sand Tomb might not knock us out. And if they do have Earthquake, like, still, they don't have enough energy. They reach 2. Nice, okay. That was maybe a little bit more precarious than I'd like it to be, just because Fortress is kind of dumb. But we're able to dance around it a little bit there. Alright, next opponent. Jump Bluff into Fortress. Okay. What is the moveset of this Fortress? It is on Volt Switch, which makes sense since they're on Volt Switch as well. Or, since they're Shadow, rather. I don't know what I just said. What I am trying to say is, oftentimes I do see the Shadow on Volt Switch. Okay, we get a shield with Aerial Ace. That's kind of cool, I guess. I survived this. Not well, but I do survive. Okay. I'll throw the Aqua Tail here before they're able to Rock Tomb us, because I don't want to get debuffed. Fun fact, debuffs suck. They're already double debuff on this team, which is, like, crazy. Who would run 2 debuffers on the same team? Luckily, I still have a lot of my Jump Bluff left over, at least enough Jump Bluff left over that maybe it can still have some play. A Scald gets the knockout here if they go for the, what's it called? The no shield. And if they do shield, then that's also fine. Okay, Fortress comes back in, probably. No, actually, it's the Altaria. Kind of a smart call by them, because they did just see I'm on Scald, right? Scald, obviously not the most efficient attack in the game against Altaria, but, I mean, it does still do a decent chunk, even though I am debuffed. No debuff against them, though. They have so much energy. Is that bad? It's probably not good. I guess we catch. I didn't really try to catch a move here. I'm honestly a little bit surprised they threw energy when they did right there, but alright. So there's still that Fortress in the back line. Body Slam should knock out, and I do survive a Sky attack here. But they could always go for a catch as well at some point. Oh, they don't even catch, they just swap immediately. They Rock Tomb? I hate that I have to shield a Rock Tomb. Oh, they Mirror Shot! That's even crazier, actually. I should have no-shielded the Mirror Shot, I'm not gonna lie. Bit of a mistake to shield Mirror Shot. Okay, they shield that. I try to, throw them off a little bit by, like, waiting a second there, but they saw, still. Wow, they're at the Rock Tomb? Ah, no! The Mirror Shot bait is actually so criminal. That is such a criminal play. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. I should have called it, I guess. I don't know. Even a Rock Tomb would have knocked us out, though, so, like, I don't even know if they had to bait. Alright, next opponent. Let's try not to lose to another Volt Switch Mirror Shot Fortress. That was kind of embarrassing. Oh, this is interesting. Shadow Mightyena. It's obviously a bit of a scary Pokemon. Okay, they say swap a Shadow Steelix. Maybe one of the best Pokemon that I can see here with my Gastrodon. I was gonna say the Mightyena does have access to Poison Fang. And that's honestly a pretty scary attack. Against a Grass type especially. Alright, they're going for a Crunch here. I'll Water Pulse like right before their move. Normally these teams are pretty RPS. Like, it could be maybe double ground. It could be a Wigglytuff. It could be, I don't know, anything. Okay, I don't get 2 attacks here. Unless maybe I could get DRE, but I'm not going to risk that. Our Fast Food Pressure is doing quite a bit anyway, so might as well guarantee a shield here with Water Pulse. Or not. We just knock him out straight up. That was a quick one. Okay. Alright, that's a good bounce back from that last game. Next opponent here. This might be our final game of the set. And it's a Steelix, this time in the lead. Alright. So the best thing about this is they're likely on Thunderfang. So I get to avoid this with my my Qwilfish. The worst thing about this is I don't quite two-shot the non-shadow here with Energy Ball. So they're at 6. They're dry now. They get that guaranteed defense drop, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm hoping, though, once this is out of the way, maybe this is their best answer to our Qwilfish. Man, I'm actually doing some damage here. Do I two-shot? I didn't think I did. But the Fairy Wind damage looks like it's doing some real damage to this Pokemon. I guess we'll see. We're at 3. I would love to be able to farm down. Or get a shield, that's fine as well. Actually get a debuff, that's kind of cool. Wow. Bit of a miscount by our opponent. That's actually kind of catastrophic for them, potentially. They go down 2 shields. And as long as I have an Aqua Tail loaded on my Qwilfish, if they swap out, like, this thing isn't that big of a concern. Okay. This is bad, isn't it? All this smack talk by its Axon just to be met by an Araquanid that's gonna debuff me into oblivion. And then likely have an Altari in the backline, huh? Yeah, maybe this is bad. I mean, it's not looking good. Because I don't have Sludge Wave here. Although Scald still does a lot of damage despite that debuff, which is kind of nice to see. I get a second Scald before a second Bubble Beam, so, things could be worse. Slightly, I guess. A CMP the Bubble Beam. I'm going to no-shield this and really just bank on the fact that maybe my Gastrodon isn't hardwalled in the backline. A Water Pulse, though. That's annoying, because now they can permanently debuff us with this Steelix. That's a really smart Water Pulse there. I actually didn't realize they were already at it. I guess that's the pacing difference in the season. Okay, I'm fine shielding a Psychic Fangs here. I don't love doing that, but I literally have to shield something this game, and if I don't do that, I'm worried that they have a lot of Fast Food Pressure in the backline. It could very much be a Wigglytuff, and I might still just lose this game anyway. Like, what if they're ABA to Gastrodon? Imagine the world where that's the case. I'm going to overfarm here. The Bug Bites are shredding through my HP, but I think Energy is the way I'm going to win this game. It could always be like a Talonflame or something, like a counter for Mud Slappers that's not the best counter. Oh, no. The damage here is too much. These -2 Shadow Bug Bites. They're just going to knock us out. Just a little bit too quick. I need the Water Pulse. Body Slam, no way would knock out there. ABA Steel. Man, that's not what I was anticipating at all. That's unfortunate. That's where Scald kind of comes back to bite us a little bit. Like, if we had Sludge Wave, could have been maybe a little bit better there against that Araquanid, but, that... I feel like the Scald damage did well enough for us in the rest of the battles that we'll take the loss there. Shadow Qwilfish today was an absolute menace in the Jungle Cup. You saw it yourself. You're able to see the spamminess this Pokemon had, the damage output as well. This Pokemon is insane. So if you want to give it a go, give this team a try. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.